Hey, this is Malcolm Fleschner for TYT Politics, and I am here in Menlo Park, California at Cafe Zoe, which is a place for peace, hope, and community. What more could you ask for? And I'm here today because they're hosting an event with Fair Vote, which is an organization that promotes electoral reforms, specifically ranked choice voting. Coming to host the event, we have both the executive director, Rob Ritchie, as well as Chris Novoselic, who you may know as the former bass player for Nirvana, among other bands, and he has become an activist in promoting ranked choice voting and is a board chairman of Fair Vote. So they're going to come today to talk about ranked choice voting. What is ranked choice voting? Good question. It is a system that allows for third-party candidates, non-traditional candidates, to get their voices of those who want to vote for third-party candidates heard, and so they're not just spoiling their votes in a traditional first-past-the-post, winner-takes-all election. I'll let them explain further at the event and hear what people have to say about it.
So what are some of the issues with the way that we currently elect officials? So we have vote splitting, or we've heard of candidates being called spoiler candidates, and we have very polarized politics. When people vote, they have to, people are often thinking about how to be strategic about it and use bullet voting, or feel like they have to vote for the lesser of two evils. And even worse, people can feel like their vote would just be wasted.
And so here, most places in the United States where we have winner-take-all elections, they put us in these districts, or we vote for a governor, or say we vote for a legislature, they put us in these districts, and whoever gets the most votes wins. And I just started to resent that because I'd see all these incumbent lawmakers, politicians, whoever, party bosses, and they were just there forever. Safe seat districts, uncontested elections.
And it's tied to a voting system that's statutory, right? This isn't in the Constitution. Nothing. The founders were really clever about multiple things, but one thing is don't try to dictate how we should vote, because they knew that that's something that we would keep learning and evolving and changing. And the problem is we then get stuck in ruts and think it just has to be that way. And that's starting to change.
So what is ranked choice voting? It's a voting method that gives voters the freedom to rank candidates in order of choice so that everyone's voice is heard.
You get a ballot and your candidates are listed on there, and you have this feature where you could rank them in order of preference. You put a number 1 by your favorite, number 2 by your second favorite, number 3 by your third favorite.
That is so complicated.
It's so complicated, yeah. And then you count the ballots. If somebody gets a majority in one version of it, they win, or if they cross a certain threshold for the multi-member version of it, then they get elected. And if there's no majority, or if nobody crosses the threshold, then you could eliminate the last place candidate, and those voters' second and third choices get redistributed.
Oh, you mean there's a way that I can vote that doesn't require me to choose between the lesser of two evils? Maybe the guy who has no chance of winning is actually my favorite, but I don't want to waste my vote on him because I know he's not going to win. This is a way that I can still show my support for that guy, and yet I know my vote will still count because I can vote for this guy as my first choice, and then the second guy, this is my second choice, third choice, and so on. So to me, it was very appealing as a way that I could vote and still and feel like my vote actually counted.
Right now, when you have two people running and you vote for one of them, you've cast a pretty expressive ballot. If there's 3 people running and you only vote for one of them, then you've left 2 things blank, right? You haven't indicated a preference between the other 2. And then if you only add up, the votes and you stop there, the person who has the most votes might not have half the votes, right? They might. And if they have more than half, they're a pretty legitimate winner. But if they have like 40%, or in 2016, a number of states where one was, say, 45% or 47%, not a majority, what that means is that those voters who voted for the candidate who finished 3rd or 4th, Gary Johnson, Jill Stein, those votes were expressive of what those voters wanted to say, but they didn't also get to indicate a preference between Trump and Clinton.
having a system in place that allows for more people to participate freely, it's just sort of allows for more interesting debates, more interesting campaigns. Because, you know, if you and I are both running and we have, say, very similar policies on issues, we're going to be fierce enemies because we're going for the same voters. But with ranked choice, to me, I like that it would allow somebody who's got a lot in common. You know, if Bernie and Hillary have a lot in common, they can kind of work together and still participate in the final election. Or you know, Jill Stein has something in common with Hillary. They can be, you know, cooperative to some degree in a campaign. Hey, vote for me first and vote for her second. But if you prefer her, fine, vote for her first, but then give me your second place vote. You have to actually seek out second place votes in order to win.
We have a broken system right now, and I don't think it's self-correcting. And this conversation is going to be one that we will keep having, and these local uses and these city uses, and normalizing it is super important.
If you want to find out more about ranked choice voting, you can go to fairvote.org, and their website tells you all about it and other electoral reforms that they're involved in. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment below, all that stuff. See you next time.